First of all, I'd like to respond to Mliswa's links to CIA from the Sunday Mail of yesterday, the 20th of September. I will go with what they wrote. First of all, during the tour, you allegedly told constituents to stop saying the ZANU PF and that they should embrace the Americans for their mandate. As you would appreciate that a story without naming anybody does not hold water. You are journalists, so there's going to be credibility in the source. Who is the source? As much as you exercise the right of not to name the source, but in a story like this, you must name the source because people conclude that you are the source yourself. So there's absolutely nobody who talks about that. We then go to the same story on page 7. We went to 4 schools, about 3 clinics. We also met village headmen. Temba introduced me to them as an American ambassador saying he had cash for development. And so we should stop saying Pambeline ZANU. First of all, I belong to a party called ZANU PF, not ZANU. So he says Pambeline ZANU. I don't know the party called ZANU. I know the party called ZANU PF. So it's quite clear that he's so excited about lying that he forgets that I belong to a party called ZANU PF. The touring party visited Chembezi. I was in the constituency yesterday to meet the constituency. I've only been to Chembezi once as a member of parliament in that constituency. Waseva, we never went to Waseva. Mutore, we never went to Mutore. In Chizizi, there's no school called Chizizi in my constituency. It does not exist. And then the names of the clinics could not be determined. I remember Mliswa and some white guys came to Ward 15 and 20. There's no Ward 20. Ward 20 is in Hurungwe East, the constituency belonging to Honorable Mahawk. It's not in my constituency. And apparently I held a meeting. So, without saying a lot, is totally not true. And you then ask yourself, what is the agenda? I mean, the president is back from the General Assembly. He did not even get the space I got. Listen, I mean, this is the headline. That's the president, and we continue again. So, more or less, I covered a whole page. I equally challenge journalists to substantiate. I said the unfortunate thing about this country is even if you sue, it's not worth it. The issue is no longer about the party. The issue is about my persona. Where are the constituents? constituency which belonged to MDC, and I wrestled it from MDC to ZANU PF. A constituency which suffers and needs help. And I'm one of those people who can account for every penny that is going to the constituency, the source and the amount. So, yes, I'm not naive. The Americans, the British, are here with the various programs that they run. This program has been running for 34 years. It has beneficiaries in the past 34 years. So why is it now becoming an issue? So can we then say that in the 34 years that it has been in existence, the Americans have infiltrated the system? But equally in those 34 years, ZANU PF has been in control. So the level of infiltration, I don't understand. I am a legislator, and one of my responsibilities is to represent my people. And in representing my people, I look at the aid available, which has been sanctioned by the ZANU PF government, which has been sanctioned by His Excellency, which is here, which even if I did not benefit from it, it would still get around in the country. My constituency is one of the poorest. It has a people who need to be part of Zimbabwe. So yes, in the analysis of aid, it's likely to come up. It's likely to come up because it's poor. And if I'm approached, then I don't say no. As a provincial chairman, as a member of parliament, I do not go into my constituency without the secret agents, CIO, and the police intelligence. I don't. Eric Little indeed sent me a message. He sent me a message on the 4th of February at 1426. Honorable Mliswa, my name is Eric Little from the U.S. Embassy Political Affairs section. I spoke with a colleague of yours who recommended we chat. Please let me know when and where it might be convenient if you are amenable. Best regards, Eric Little. On the 5th of February 2040, I responded and said, I will come back to you soonest. He then responded and said, I look forward to meeting you. On the Monday, the 10th of March, 1247, Honorable, I wanted to circle back to you about the meeting sometime soon. We'd be happy to let you choose the time and venue. We can do a private meeting or come to your constituency, if that is preferred. We'd like to hear about your committee work in your constituency. I tried to call him and he sent a message. Sir, I saw that I missed your call yesterday. I will be in Pali today or could see you later in the week, depending on your availability. I tried to call him again. Say I'm in another meeting. I can call you in an hour. That's on the 24th of March. on the Tuesday, the 1st of April, say, this is Eric Little from the U.S. Embassy. I wanted to circle back about meeting you. When are you free? Please let me know your availability and we can schedule time. Best regards to you and the people of Hurungwe West. On the 16th, Wednesday, 16:43, I sent him a message. Hi, Eric. Are you able to visit my constituency on Friday when I visit the centers celebrating independence? You can put up at my place as I have a nice lodge. Please revert back to me soonest. Say thank you for the invitation. I would attend if I could, but I'll be in Cape Town for the 2 Oceans race. I sent him back a message that we'll do it on the return, and good luck for the 2 Oceans race. When do you get back? I'm back Tuesday. Thank you for the well wishes. Let me know about another time, and we'll get together. Best regards and a happy Independence Day and happy Easter. You too, and thank you, I respond. Say, I'm back in town. Let me know when might be a good time and place to get together. Best regards, Eric. On Saturday, the 3rd of May, 9:59. Say, I wanted to touch base again about the meeting. Please let me know when you be free. Best regards, Eric Clayton. We'll do it on Monday in my constituency, because every Monday I run every Monday. By the way, I'm probably one of the most organized members of parliament. So every Monday I run a constituency calendar. This is my constituency calendar. And in my constituency calendar, Mazua, Msanga, and Kosha, these are the wards. So this was Ward 25. And this we were talking about it being Ward 25. So if you follow this, it tells you the words which are there. And Ward 25 is there. So if you pick this, the data man he came is when I was going in the wards. So it was not by special arrangement. He's fitting into my program in the constituency. As anyone is allowed, when they want to see me at work in my constituency, they must follow. So it certainly fell into the time when I was going toward 25. He says, I can make the trip later in the week, Wednesday or later, but I'm occupied Monday or Tuesday, so we do it. So I said, we do it the following Monday. Sounds good. Just tell me when and when. I would like to bring Munya, who met you at SAPS. I met them at SAPS when I was doing the anti-corruption issue with Honorable Fokwekwe settlement, Chikwenya. Say, when can you provide specific for Monday that you'd be helpful? Where and when would you like to meet and help me make arrangements? Look forward to it, very quickly. Say, we're making a plan to come on Monday. When can you send the address and it will be most helpful? I send back, please talk to my constituency coordinator on this number. Say, I wanted to check and see how you are. I'm well, thanks. And we then went on, I'm well, thanks. Not happy that our application was turned down. We need to get it going, and may you can tell us where we went wrong. When we went to the constituency, we went to Chilakanenyama Primary School, it's in Ward 25 High School, to show some of the developments. We don't believe in you giving money without us doing anything. You must go and see a constituency at work, the MP and the people. So this is what we have done. We need to finish off. We moved on to Ripani Clinic. Ripani Clinic, they walk 25-30 kilometers to a center, Magunji, Moyo, where they get the ARVs, CD4 count, and so forth. It's cause for concern for any member of parliament to have your people who are suffering from a virus, from HIV, to be walking 25 kilometers for CD for casualty. And then to show you that I'm a truly CIA agent, they then referred me to the Australian Embassy for funding. So I also picked that up. Sorry about that. Okay. This is Eric on the 5th, the 13th. Firstly, I thank again for taking us around your constituents. It was greatly helpful to see some of the development needs person, and I'll see what we can do and support people of Hurungwe West. Please find attached the small grants information we discussed in order for us to fund. I personally believe focusing on the health clinic as top application priority is probably our best bet for working together. Send me your application and I'll flag them to our health coordinator. If we do anything else to support you, we would like to continue the dialogue. I'll be happy to host you for lunch sometime at my house, given this proximity to Green. Finally, I mentioned at the end of our day yesterday that the Australian DCM would like to meet you. His name is Joe McGregor. He's a good guy, and Australians are able to do some development projects that we cannot. I'll be happy to introduce you to him, and that would be, if that would be favorable. Let's stay in touch. You see, best regards, Eric, Political Affairs. So, I'm taking you through all this. We never received any funding. Yes. And I only met Eric once. And I've not met him again. We never drove in a car, the two of us. Eric is CIA, I know that, he confirmed it. And I'm not a naive politician. The system was present in the car. So at no point were we together. It was done properly, and they declined it. We've moved on. So what is the agenda? Who is the true CIA agent? Let's start with the section 25 of IP. Professor Moyo was instrumental in IP. Protection of information relating to personal privacy. Number one, the head of the public body shall not disclose personal information to any applicant if the disclosure will result in the unreasonable invasion of the third party's personal privacy. But what do you mean by that? Open court. What does it mean? Personal information is defined and includes a person's age, sex, and I've underlined sexual orientation. Underlined sexual orientation. Marital status and family status. I've underlined sexual orientation. Why? We then move to the gatekeepers. Forward, Foundation, Phony, left. The structure of CIA. They have a quote that they begin with, which says, if they don't like what we're doing, we don't get funded next year. Close quote. Tom Payne, Executive Director, John Moyers. If they don't like what we're doing, we don't get funded next year. Everything here feeds into CIA. Let's come to home and go straight to the Ford Foundation. To the Ford Foundation. I'll give you this to make copies and appreciate. Who is the real CIA agent? The one controlling the fund or the receiver, if he has received? We go to the Ford Foundation, it links straight into CIA. Who worked for the Ford Foundation? Professor Jonathan Moyo. You cannot be part of this organization without initiation. Culturally, there's initiation, but there's initiation with CIA. We know about it, we talk about it every day. The role of a CIA agent is to have close relationships with the security chiefs in the country. Because that's where you get information. Who of the security chiefs is he close to? The Americans are prepared to impeach their president for a sexual, for an inappropriate move. But they're prepared to forgive you for stealing their money. So what's the quid pro quo? What's the quid pro quo? You steal their money and they forgive you. What is the quid pro quo? So, if you go through the various issues Professor had, I spoke about the driver, IPA. I spoke about sexual orientation. The American CIA is a bunch of gay gangsters. And you cannot be part of them if you're not one. I'll give you links which will talk about Professor Moyo's homosexual tendencies. www.newsdezimbabwe.com /pages 13.1154 June 23, 2004. We don't want to waste time. I've given you the link.
So the president is violating the constitution. He has the political. That's what you are saying.
You ask those questions when the time. You have a situation clearly where we belong to a party which is run by a leader who is very constitutional. But some of us within the party are starting to wonder that has the party been hijacked? We know who Professor is. And when the time comes, we will equally ask the questions. What is this man doing amongst us? One, he lost an election. He has a position because people like myself, one and other members of parliament so that the president is empowered to appoint. You have a group of people who have resorted to being power brokers. It's a syndicate of gay people. Comrades, what would you be doing shopping in New York with a man and not with your wife? You seriously travel to New York and you're not with your wife, and you shop in New York with a man. And the man is so excited about you shopping together. And post it. For who? It's no secret that Jonathan and Kasukuwere are very close. And it's no secret that there have been allegations of them being gay. So, is the party now in control of gay gangsters? Let's talk about Kasukuwere. We've left, the story is not in Eric Little. The story is in the succession. Kasukuwere has always thought he's a kingmaker. Professor Moyo has always thought he's a kingmaker. But these are kings without kingdoms or castles. They join together. Kasukuwere, on the virtue of him having been the youth leader, still thinks he controls the youth. He got a rude awakening in the last youth conference, where despite holding on to 7 chairpersons, the outcome was the opposite. The democratic process prevailed. Joao was also, Patrick was also the director for youth. Unfortunately, they want to make the Zimbabwe Youth League to be that of the ANC, when Malema had the power to recall Mbeki. But unfortunately, the Youth League in ZANU PF cannot be run like that. Patrick lost as a member of parliament. Suddenly we see him running the Joao Institute. I have great respect for Patrick. But can I equally remind Patrick that a couple years ago, him and Kasukuwere were in the forefront of wanting to remove the president because he was too old. And I reminded him at one PCC meeting in Mashonaland West, where I challenged him that some of us stand by our uncles through thick and thin. Can you do the same? I challenged him in a PCC meeting. Congress is coming. The electorate, they did not win. Clearly, Mashonaland West like any other province, they meet in Harare and they deliberate on who controls this province, who controls this province. And the control was by political bureau members before the president reminded them of the role of the chairman. Article 1297, 1 and 2 states that the head of the province will be the chairman, politically and administratively. That's the constitution. They sit down, and the most senior person in the political bureau, when he speaks, you all must agree, whether democratically or undemocratically. Comrade, I am the only person, chairperson, who chairs a province where I don't come from. The chairmanship of the province was a prerogative of the Zimba people. Chiangwa was chairman. When Chiangwa left, Mafa took over. Then Mafa and Chidakwa, Walter, was from Zimba. He lost to Mafa. Then Minister Chombo, his brother Nimrod, is from Zimba. He lost to me. It is the only election in the history of Mashonaland West where two people from Zimba were second and third. Will they surely be comfortable? It's the best run province administratively. It's the best run province democratically. But when they meet in their succession debates, they are under fire from their colleagues. When Mchangwa is in Europe on a private visit with his wife, meeting the Americans, we don't write about it. It's time to tell the truth. What made Mchangwa leave China as an ambassador? Because he attacked the first family. Comrade Mchangwa how can you be an ambassador that starts deals but never sees them through? And in the middle of those deals, you are recalled. He's an indisciplined war veteran. And the time has come for us, the young ones in the party, to name the indisciplined war veterans. His constituency, he can't even build a block of toilets. But when he goes and meets ambassadors from the European countries, the Herald reports the government is in the business of engaging. And you are not representing. So we are now starting, as young as we are, to now question leadership. That may they please rein on these errant comrades. The state media And equally, some of the media houses are equally controlled by the professor. His flash disk is all over. Some of you will not even write what I'm saying because you want to appease him. Politics is not running the media. We go to the ground. I've called. I will be very inconsistent to respond to you. I said I'll respond later. I like to be consistent. So, comrades, it's about Congress. It's about Congress. It's about Congress. Nothing else but about Congress. Who controls which province? And they are fighting, especially with Mashonaland West. It's not a secret that, I am very independent. And I keep an arm's length with my political members because I respect them. Our relationship is cordial and we stick it to party business. And all the decisions made have been democratic from the people. But they're under pressure from the faction. They're being told you're not performing. Mliswa and Gachet. Imuchiti mu controller chini ndeje. Uya muskum controller. Woda kutraga mu. Comrade Joao must understand that he is the one who is part of the Pala School on the provincial chairman of Mashonaland West. It starts from there. So clearly, when it's convenient, what I've done as chairman is they don't really like each other. But when it comes to me, I see them together. And I always say to them, keep it up. This is great unity. This is what I wanted. To see Joao and our Chombo. Because Joao accused of our Chombo of setting him up in Hurungwe in Temba East. And Russia, Muna Chombo have always said this DRC met one. So my coming to Mashonaland West has united them. But for what reason? So they must maintain that unity that they have. I would like to end by, say, quoting the Honorable Nanga. Parliament must not, this is me before Parliament must not be the ground for factional fights, where clearly the person asking allegedly belongs to a certain faction and directs the question to the leader of the house. Parliament is not for that. We have better issues to deal with in the country. Honorable Nanga says, I'm surprised with seasoned, open, quote, I'm surprised with seasoned politicians in this age who take to heart everything that they see in the press. Comma, not everything in the press is true. Close quote. Minister of Justice, Honorable E.D. Nanga, on the Wednesday question time. I will help the minister by replacing press with Herald. Because it was only the Herald thought about it, and I would have liked him to have been honest. And I challenge him to tell me which other press wrote about the 12 dozens who started it. So let's name the publication that started it. So I would have liked him to replace everything they see in the Herald, because it's the Herald who started it. Honorable members of the media, I think I have justified that at no point has any funding come through. And I keep looking for funding for my constituency, which is within the confines of the laws of this country. And I hope that, this cleanup exercise must start. But let it start with those who are also involved with WikiLeaks, who went and saw ambassadors on their own, and they forget they do that. The unfortunate thing about Professor Moyo, he seems to have a short memory. If there's any one person who has a short memory, it's him. Just now he was quiet, and now he's talking. The moment the First Lady was mentioned, he's talking. He has a short memory, and it's unlike most professors. So, whilst he's appointed by the president, he must behave appropriately and respect the president's appointments. That's how you respect the president. You respect those that he appoints to. You don't denigrate them in public. But he has an agenda. He's a CIA agent. And the agenda will never stop. I'll open it up to you. Comments.
Honorable Mliswa, from what you've been explaining here, it appears that you're attacking those who seem to be having a smear campaign against you, but the president honestly must be seeing and reading some of these articles. Why is it that the president is not saying anything, even the presidium?
Let's appreciate that it's for you to set the record straight, not the president. And I'm speaking about something that involves me, and I don't expect the president to comment. I will have my time also to give the other side and avail more information. And for now, I have to continue to protect my constituency. I hope I've answered.
Yeah, I was also referring to the issue of the Politburo and the Central Committee, where the Politburo has actually failed to report to the Central Committee, and the Presidium is quiet about it.
No, but it is the party. The party is not that. You see, provinces and structures of the party run the party on behalf of the Central Committee, the Politburo. But the Politburo does not run provinces. The Central Committee does not run provinces. It's an organ on its own that must be able to bring about the appropriate debate and arguments which strengthen the party. And for me, I see that as something that has got to be discussed. So that the party, and it's only when it is discussed that the president would respond. I cannot talk about the response of the president before an issue is brought up in the proper forum. Yes.
I have two questions for you, Mr. Chairman. Firstly, to do with the failure by the Politburo to report to the Central Committee. We know that the leader of the party, both party and country, is President Mugabe. he chairs the Politburo, and I also understand he chairs the Central Committee. So when you say that the Politburo has not been reporting to this organ, are you not insinuating that the president is incompetent as the leader of the party? What does it mean to the leadership of President Mugabe if he's failing to convene those organs of the party in terms of the constitution? That's the first question. The second question is to do with the AIPA. AIPA is a state law which went through all the procedures until the president gave assent to it to become the law of the state. So the section you referred to where there is the issue of homosexuality, sexual orientation, isn't ZANU PF through omission and commission responsible for that? Because this is not a personal law. You cannot tell reasonable audience that a law belongs to a minister. A law is a state law which went through all the organs and the procedures before it became law. Why is it that your party, including yourself, still have this law in the statute books? What is it that personally you have done to correct what you think is an anomaly? And your party, which is in charge, and by the time that law was made into law, your party had the majority in 2002, after winning the 2000 parliamentary election. So what does it tell about your party and you yourself as member of parliament with the capacity to contribute to formulation of laws?
Yeah, I think it's a valid question. It's a good question. The first question, in terms of the Politburo being headed by the president and the Central Committee, I think we must appreciate that there are processes and procedures, and if there's any person who's a stickler at ensuring that procedure happens, is the president. What is required is for the proper fora for that question to be brought up, and he can respond. I think he has run the party well. He's procedural. He allows debate to happen and so forth. And I'm hoping that these are some of the issues which should be brought up with the Central Committee. He has often even said to the Central Committee, you must be at work, you must hold us accountable. He has said that. You must hold us accountable. So probably it's the composition of the Central Committee too that needs to be looked at. But he is equally said to them, you must hold us accountable, Central Committee, in terms of the issue you think brought up. It's becoming worrying that my response, in short, is just infiltration in the party. The party has been infiltrated.
But just to add on, if you said Moyo and Kasukuwere are gay, the president is on record and is very unequivocal, is very unambiguous, very clear about his position as head of state and and head of that party, that he is averse to these practices. So when he has such kind of people in his cabinet, he appoints them. He sits with them in cabinet, he sits with them in the Politburo, he sits. So is he not through commission and omission also responsible for appointing gays and homosexuals in his cabinet and dining and eating with them every day? What does it tell us about him? Is he someone who plays double standards? Is he clear when he says that he doesn't like homosexuals and he appoints them as ministers?
No.
Are you not advertently saying the president is failing in his duty to make sure that homosexuals are not members of cabinet?
Thank you.
You see, you've got to understand that we don't accept homosexuality in this country. But equally, it's like the issue of US funding. You have to prove it, and you have to bring issues up. And I will prove it. I will take it upon myself to tell the president that this is a bunch of gay gangsters. So let me take it to him and equally provide evidence. It is a whole charade of them. And that's like college.
Was it good in psychology?
That's a whole. It's a whole crew, and the entire crew. It's a whole crew, and we'll not allow the party to be run by gay gangsters. We won't. That will not, and we've started now. We expose it, and their habits, their tendencies, and they're constantly loaded with money because CIA funds them. I want anybody to prove otherwise why you don't say Jonathan is CIA. I've proved to you. I've showed you the structure. Which, if any of you don't have a copy or available, you make a copy of it. So we are now starting. Equally, I'm saying to the president, we cannot go to Congress with gay gangsters. We can't. Huh? Yes.
Thank you. How long has the political failed to report to the Central Committee? And you said the president of the party and the head of state is a stricter in terms of following procedure and is very constitutional, but he is not, as the head of the political and also the Central Committee, like has been pointed out, is stuck to the rules as it were in terms of making sure that the political is reported to the Central Committee as required by the ZANU PF. Is he a failure? Would you want to say that?
No, he is not. He is stuck to the constitution of the party in terms of running the party business. He's a very constitutional man. And the Central Committee will meet at least twice a year or as and when the need arises. So yes, in terms of the constitution, we make that. But the Central Committee itself must be an organ which is proactive and which must be able to hold the political bureau accountable. In fact, what I'm saying here is that the Central Committee must be proactive in holding the political bureau accountable. And the Constitution is very clear. The Central Committee can cause for any meeting.
But how long has the political not reported?
No, they have. I told you that they should only meet thrice a year. Already we've met twice, and the year is not over. So in terms of the Constitution, that has been met.
Can we have any other questions on a different subject as well? This one seems to be dragging on. Anybody with any other questions?
Okay. Yes. Mr. Mliswa, you spoke about it's all about the Congress. What do you think your adversaries are trying to achieve for the Congress? That's the first question. Second question is about the Americans and the Europeans in terms of projects that they fund. It seems that they've got several projects, but the concentration is just on the coffee principles. What are the other projects that the Americans are funding and the British are funding? That also include constituencies where we have ZANU PF.
But the ZANU PF MPs did not benefit. Parada did not benefit. You need to apply. There's a whole list that you have to follow that did not benefit. Equally, ZANU PF is in control right now. So clearly, the funding which is there rightfully must go to ZANU PF MPs. It must go to ZANU PF MPs because it has the majority. So that speaks for itself in terms of the numbers. In terms of the projects which are there, it's not a secret that the NGOs in the country which are allowed to be here and clearly monitored that their business must not go outside what they're supposed to do. So I think the aid which comes in is aid which the government has approved, which is welcome, but must not have strings attached. I mean, there is no way anybody would really be so naive as to be told what to do. Listen, for me, in meeting Little, if I meet him again, it's an opportunity for him to understand that ZANU PF is in control. You don't run away from the enemy. You tell the enemy what it is. I mean, Eric Little is now becoming as if every embassy has a security person in it. The Zimbabwean embassy too has that, and their role is pretty clear. And the Americans have always been here. Their agenda has always been known. But if you talk about the Ministry of Health, 90% of the funding is coming from the Americans. Why are we not making noise about that? I mean, why are we not making noise about that? Ministry of Environment here, Kasukuwere, is funded by the Americans. They come here to hunt, they come here to do a lot. So we don't talk about it. But whatever investment they bring in the country, which is good for the people, we cannot be so naive politically as not to accept support for our people. As MPs, we don't have any CDF funds, but that's not to say we compromise. But there's nobody who will fund something without seeing it. So what's the news about people coming to Hurungwe and seeing the hospital and so forth? Well, I mean, what's the news? Yes, like I say, Little is given a clear position of who I am, who the party is, and so forth. I actually thought the Herald would write that, since the thing rejected my application, I'm probably a person that they did not see fit to be an agent. And I thought it would be that. Yes.
Then the Congress, when you say it's all about Congress.
Oh, listen, it's activity that leads to the Congress. And there are people in Mashonaland West who are also jostling for positions. We like to be in the top 5. They are meeting, they are, as usual, lobby in the various forums, but they don't lobby in the forum with the must. Because I always say to them, since the chairman of Mashonaland West, there is no other name other than those 3 that I've told about, which is mentioned. So I would even equally challenge the faction that they belong to and say, but these guys, you only meet and they don't talk. No one has ever brought a name to stand against one guy, mind you, and SK. And to be honest with you, it's only 3 months before Congress. And you're telling me that there will be a candidate who will come through. I mean, today I want to be honest with you. They failed every other way. People are pretty satisfied with the current leadership. They want 2/3 with the majority. So why would you want to get rid of them? Why would you? You need to have a real good reason. And I invite those in Mashonaland West not to talk about it outside. Come to the Provincial Executive Committee. Come to the Provincial PCC and talk about it. And say, these are our thoughts from a democratic point of view. It starts with where you are coming from. It starts with the constituencies endorsing. It goes to the admin. It goes to the province. So, I equally challenge those members of parliament who are of another mindset to start it in their constituencies. But they don't. So it's just havoc that they are making every day.
Can we have another question?
Comrade Maurice, don't you risk the accusations that maybe you are trying to stop a fire with a fire, given that maybe you should have started by seeking internal recourse, to the challenges which you have in the party, but it seems most of things to do with the party are not being sold out to the media. Don't you think, in a way, you're weakening some of your adversaries?
No, listen, the unfortunate thing is that there are a lot of people. Each time I go for a press conference, who call me, don't go. And then I say, are you also willing to go and tell the people? This is damaging. It's sad, to say the least. It's beyond, it's sad. My kids will read this one day. it has effects on my kids, and you expect me to have somebody to tell me what to do when I'm defending myself. It's beyond the party. It's beyond the party. I mean, you cannot write such a headline and tell me that I must not defend myself and say the system will defend you. When the thing system is allowing this to happen, this is part of the system. This is part of the system. This is part of the system. There's no other paper. Who doesn't know about that? So it's about time, that one defended. I mean, you keep this for years and years and years. And in a country like ours where you don't have many courageous people, they just start avoiding you. And fortunately, my constituents understood this. I read it to them yesterday. They were equally shocked and disappointed that the party leadership is now, conducting business in such a way. Yes.
You spoke about Professor Moyo's first flying around in most media houses. And you're saying he's compromising some newspapers. Can you shed light on that?
It's very clear. Who doesn't know that there's no article that he wants to write that he'll send around to you guys? It's only now of late where probably your papers are not selling that you're starting to actually write a bit more about it. But it was affecting your business because there was no difference between the independent media and the state-controlled media. The state-controlled media has become more of an independent media. And true. And that's how they are probably using the market.
And we have 2 more questions.
Mr. Mliswa, you talk about gangsters, gay gangsters. You have invited a lot of controversy around this issue. Don't you fear for your life, Mr. Mliswa? Talking of gangsters.
I always pray, and in my prayer, I'm here because of God. I'm not here because of men. And that's why they would never want me to be here, but I'm here because of God. And quite clearly, there is no reason that we would be meeting. The last time we met, and I told you my thinking, what I thought. Today we also meet again. I'm able to tell you what I think. Why fear the thing inevitable? It has become so desperate. This Congress issue, people have become desperate. So desperate, and that's what happens when you have CIA money. They are on your back. Deliver. Read the quote. Read the quote I gave you to understand how CIA operates. They're under pressure. If they don't like what we are doing, we don't get funded next year. They're under pressure to deliver. They're under pressure to cause harmful. But how many congresses have we seen come and go? 1 minute, 6 chairpersons will be suspended. The whole issue, if you look at it, the person that they wanted was me. Because they believe, because the chairpersons nominated me to be the spokesperson, they're like, he's the most dangerous. And I'm a target. I appreciate that. It wasn't about the thing, the thing 12, the daily dozens. It was getting to me, and it did. But they'll find another one. And Congress is going to stand up and challenge the president. It's coming again. There's another one. He doesn't like white farmers, but he gets funding from them. That's another one that the Herald are doing. But I've said the funding from the white farmers goes into the party account. The party survives by donations. They have every story every day because the target is me.